So my sister works in Hollywood. She's in the TV reality show business. She's if you watch anything on Gordon Ramsay or Cooking Networks or Food Network or Discovery Channel or TLC, she's responsible for almost all that programming, right? So the other day she texted me because they're looking for content all the time. And same with her, like her friends in the business. And she sent me this message and she said, because they're looking for people for shows. And she says, does the Van Ness family want to sign up for this? She goes, I think you guys be perfect. And this is what her friend sent her. Elvia, do you know of a family of 5 that would want to go on TV and take on an incredible outdoor survival adventure the week of August 9th? Obviously, they have to have a great backstory, etc. required, competing for a prize. Kids, ideally the age of 12 through 18. My sister's like, you guys would be perfect. You want me to sign you guys up? And immediately I'm like, outdoor survival is what throws me off.
Yeah. Anything
Yeah,
else?
but you literally have a son who's an Eagle Scout, John Jay. You guys are perfect for that.
He's an Eagle Scout. My sister said the exact same thing that you said. She's like, will you just ask Jake, follow Jake's lead? I go, Jake? I read Jake the ad. Jake goes, no.
Why not?
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to be on TV.
And I'm like, yeah. And then I asked Dutch, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I asked
he's
Blake.
down.
Blake says yes. I asked Kemp. Kemp goes, what exactly does outdoor adventure mean?
Smart kid. Yeah.
And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Is it Survivor? She goes, we have to be very vague. Like I guess they don't tell you. You sign up for the show, you do the show, and then they'll tell you what the show is or whatever.
Well, you need Jake to be in because he is your outdoor survivor skill person.
Yeah, I don't want to be outside with mosquitoes and stuff. I'm like, there was no way. I didn't even follow up. I was like, no.
No?
Yeah.
What if you can use your sleep apnea machine?
I didn't even think about that. I'm gonna be out in some hammock in the middle of the woods somewhere.
That's the one thing that I thought of. I was like, if there's no way John can use his sleep apnea machine, there's no way you can do this.
But he's
Well, I have
got
a
a
portable-
travel one that he had to get because he went on camping trips with his Eagle Scout son.
Yeah.
You should totally do it.
When we would go camping, so just give you an idea, you fill up your backpack and you'd have to hike like 5 miles into the woods, right? And I'd go with these other dads. These other dads, you would open up their backpack and take out like chairs and take out these cooking devices and make these incredible meals. I only had room for my sleep apnea machine. So that's all I had. And that and hot dogs and they would have like couscous and all kinds of weird things they'd be making. And I had my backpack, sleeping bag, sleep apnea machine with a battery pack. So that's what I needed to survive.
Okay,
So
but you are all about making memories with your
I
family
know.
and doing things together. And this would be like the most amazing bonding moment or period of time.
I know.
That's like not many people get to experience that.
And you know what's going to happen. Whenever the show comes out, whatever it's called, whenever it is, if you don't sign up for it, you're going to watch it and be like, we could have kicked that family's ass.
Probably, but I just didn't want. It just seemed miserable. And it doesn't seem like my kind of show, And I just didn't want to deal with like prep. Jeff Probst coming out, making me
So
eat worms.
excited. You'd be so excited to see Jeff Probst in person.
I don't want to eat worms. Whatever the stuff is they make, it's time for the food challenge. Here's a big pizza from Domino's, or you can eat these roaches. And, but here's what you got to do. You have to run zigzag through this stuff, and if you don't, somebody dies. I'd be like, forget it. It'd be the most boring TV show. I mean, years ago when this show first came out, when Survivor came out, I'd be like, yeah, let's go. If they could do the 5 of us,
On Survivor?
we need one more person.
We would lose. We would need Jake. Could Jake come with
Yeah.
us?
If Jake's not in, then you have to
Who among
follow.
you knows how to make fire out of nothing?
No.
None of us.
Because I think that's one of the keys to surviving. And I cannot do that.
And it was a very short conversation with my sister. I think she knew that it was lost. There was no way it was going to go anywhere with me. But so anyway, I don't know, about a month or so ago or longer, I told you guys that, my wife's stepdad died, Ken, and he had all this alcohol. He built a bar in his house, right? So when he died, we inherited his alcohol. And Suzette was getting married, so I was like, Suzette, do you want all this alcohol? So her and her fiance, Mr. Baby, came over, and it was more alcohol than you thought of, right? It was crazy.
Oh yeah, it was a ton. Like the entire trunk was full of alcohol when we took it home. It was crazy.
And you still didn't take all of it.
No, yeah, it was like people, didn't your niece take a ton? And
My
then
niece took a whole bunch, and there was still, and then you took the rest, and there was still some left when you didn't take, you still left stuff.
Right.
Right.
Well, yesterday, Mr. Baby has been working from home, and he usually works from the dining room. And I was, I think it was like around noon, and I was in the bathroom. There's a bathroom right next to our garage, and that's close to the dining room. So I usually go to that restroom just so I can like still talk to him if he's on a break or whatever. So I'm in the restroom, and he's working in the dining room, and we hear glass break. And I can't see because I'm in the restroom, so I'm thinking Mr. Baby dropped something. And I'm like, oh, are you okay? And I hear silence, and I just hear him say, what was that? And so I'm like, oh my gosh, it wasn't him. So I immediately wipe, clean myself and everything in the bathroom, and I walk out, and I see him standing like kind of right in the middle of the house where you can see the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, and he's just like looking around, and we don't see anything. So I walk up with him, and I'm like, did somebody break a window? Like at this point, I'm like, okay, this is it right here. It's about to go down. Like this is like my fear, what I've thought about a lot. And so we hear a louder noise, and it's like a huge thump, and we're both like just like shocked because we don't see anything. And then we see our cabinet door just fly open, and all these bottles of liquor start falling all over our kitchen floor. And we both back up because when glass falls, it shatters everywhere, and it just like flies all over the place. And we back up, and we're like, ah! And it's like we're screaming, and these bottles are just like dropping, glass everywhere. We're like, ah! And it just like won't stop. So finally, it's like silence. You hear liquor dropping. You see liquor all over the floor. There's glass all over the floor, all over our counter. There's bottles spilling. Like we see like liquor just falling on the floor, and it's a disaster. And we're both kind of in shock, just like not moving. And we're like, okay, this is weird. And I've told you guys we've been experiencing some weird things in our house.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay. And so we go grab a broom and a mop, and I start cleaning things up, and we're being super careful. Like we had to lock the dogs up so that they wouldn't step on any glass, and we're picking up glass. And I'm looking at the cabinet to see what could have happened, and it looks perfectly fine. Like, I'm like, what happened? And I'm like, maybe it was placed, like the liquor was placed on one side, and it couldn't hold it, so it tipped over. But I see like on the other side that the wood is kind of weak. So I'm like, okay, that's what it probably was. But we like spent 2 hours cleaning up all this liquor, and we had to open up all the windows, turn on the fans, because it was just like burning our eyes. I've never smelled liquor like that before, and we were both gagging because it was just like reminding us of those crazy nights.
Are you sure, Suzette, you don't have like a prohibition ghost in there trying to dump out all your alcohol?
I think it was Ken. This isn't yours. He was 86 and grumpy.
I didn't think about that until you mentioned it right now, for sure. Because Mr. Baby and I, when we took the alcohol, we felt bad. And when we picked up the alcohol, we were kind of like, thank you, sir, for the alcohol. Like, even though you didn't give it to us.
It's
like,
taken me a month to track you guys down.
That's so scary.
What do you have to get a ride from Sun City?
Oh, what an eerie feeling.
Yeah, it was so scary. And this is what it sounds like walking in my house right now. So the whole house is sticky because I had to sweep all the glass before I mopped.
You should have grabbed a straw. And
it hurt. And I posted the video on my Instagram, and I had so many people are like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah, I showed
What a
Blake the video
waste.
last night. She's like watching it as it's happening, and she's like, "What? What? Oh my god! Did the shelf break? Oh my god! Oh my god!" I'm like, "Yeah, man. Did anything survive?"
We do have 2 other cabinets full of
Okay,
liquor,
thank
but
God.
that
Look
one was the one
You
that had
better
the
look
most.
out.
I know.
Where's my Jose Cuervo? I had 7 bottles of that. May he rest in peace. May he rest in peace. God bless you, Ken. He was a good man. He was a good man.
How do you not call the priest that confirmed you and have him come over and do a blessing right there?
I texted her to her last night. I go, your house is possessed, man. You need to get that place blessed.
You got to get some power up in there.